What's going on, people? Today, I am jacking back into the Matrix and getting into Matrix Reloaded in 4K Ultra HD, and I got that coming up for you next. So I couldn't have been more excited when The Matrix Reloaded, the sequel to The Matrix, came out, and I was there day one. Day one. And yeah, it was just a really unique experience. I feel like if I was to sit in front of you to talk about this movie right then and there, it would be a lot less positive. I don't think that my expectations could have been met when it came to this particular movie. But having time to sit and reflect on it, I will say that this movie isn't all bad. It is just a kind of a mixed bag for me. And I just can't really get past the fact that there's really just no need for this movie, to be quite honest with you. Keanu Reeves and all of the cast from the first one that actually survived are back, and they are still giving it their all, with the Wachowski brothers directing. This is just going to be a more ambitious story that takes a lot of those religious allegories just in the names of characters like Neo and Morpheus and Trinity, and really brings that religious aspect to the forefront here, and not just Christianity this time around. You are going to have like Buddhism and just a whole lot of religions just crammed into one storyline, and really it just doesn't really gel. It just seems like just a bunch of religious allegories from all different kind of religions just crammed into one story. I do like all of the performances here. Hugo Weaving especially is great here, with an elevated role from the first film, and it is really excellent. He's a joy to watch in almost everything that I've seen him in. But the action here just isn't as great, and the CGI definitely. This movie just screams to me of a movie that really can't live up to its ambitions. This is a very ambitious movie that unfortunately can't live up to itself. But with that being said, it is an enjoyable movie. I still like watching it. I just have real problems with it, and I can't get past the fact that this is just a very unnecessary movie. And for that, I am going to give it a 6 out of 10. This has always been a mixed bag for me that has gotten better as time goes on. And speaking of things that have gotten better as time goes on, we have to get right into the video quality here. And Warner Brothers has really pulled out all the stops and given this a 4K digital intermediate with Dolby Vision. And wow. This movie really corrects almost everything that was kind of problematic with that Blu-ray that came out a while ago. You know, that was a good Blu-ray for that time. But this is just a less compressed, just more fine-tuned presentation. And that gets into a lot of the edges here that were really great for the time, but here they are just razor sharp. There is nothing soft about this image, and it is truly just great here, with a whole lot of detail, and detail in facial features just really pops here. And even though it isn't going to fix a lot of the CGI elements to this movie has a lot of bad CGI, like the scene where all of the Agent Smiths fight Neo. It just adds more detail to that CGI. And then when you get into the HDR and the Dolby Vision, I feel like the largest difference in the presentation comes to life, and that is that a lot of the green hues that just spilled over into the facial tones on that Blu-ray are gone here, and the green hues that are a large part of this film are tempered down, and even though that they are still noticeable, as they should be, they just don't protrude into the rest of the presentation here. And that goes into black levels as well. Blacks are very inky. This was shot on 35 millimeter, and that just lends itself to inky, just dark and deep black levels, and I do feel like that is just largely preserved here, which, hey, I like. And when you add in Dolby Vision, it just makes all of the colors here pop. This can be kind of a monochromatic movie from time to time, so I feel like it doesn't pop as much here, but you can still notice it from time to time. And for that, I do have to give this 9 out of 10. This isn't reference quality material, but it is the really next best thing. And yeah, this is just a really great addition to my collection here. And getting into the audio, and the reason that I actually picked this up, and that is because we have gotten upgraded to Dolby Atmos, and wow, what an upgrade it is. Much like The Matrix was just a phenomenal sound mix, hey, this is also. And despite my problems with the movie itself, I cannot knock any of the sound mixing in any of these films, because it is always A1. Bass response is really just tightened up and just has so many different levels to it, and just when you think that it reaches the top, it just has that extra notch to give you. I really just love the bass response in this film. And surrounds are heavily used. That is always a plus, and height speakers are used pretty aggressively, and there are just a lot of moments that they do shine, like in the highway scene towards the middle of the movie. There are just a bunch of height speaker work that comes in when you have the those two ghost-like characters. I forget their names right now, but yeah, there is a whole lot of height speaker work as well. This does feel just extremely expansive and just a wide sound field, and I just think that it is very dynamic. Speaker separation is top notch, and yeah, I can't say enough about this. 10 out of 10 all the way, demo worthy material, enough said. And when you get to the digital copy here, this is a Movies Anywhere digital copy, which pretty much means that you can redeem the code and see this on its standard definition, high def 1080p version, not the 4K version on iTunes, Hulu, or any of those streaming companies that you would prefer. And as for special features goes, I originally had to refilm this because I thought that this actually didn't come with that second special feature disc that was on the Matrix box set, and I really gave this a bad rating for the special features. But then I figured out that the disc is actually behind the Blu-ray version in the box here, so just lift up that Blu-ray version, and there is special features for you. All of the commentaries were on the 4K version, and that is the commentary with the Wachowski brothers, and they are just very knowledgeable about their films, and they get really deep into it, and it is not one that you can just pop in and go back to from time to time as you're doing something else, because they're going to get really deep into it. But if you pay close attention, you will learn some shit. And then you get a whole lot of special features that go into the costume design of the film, and the reworking of the story and how they really wanted to do it as a trilogy, and the car chase scene and all of the action in the film. And you can really see in all the featurettes how dedicated Keanu Reeves is to this role, and it definitely comes through. I feel like he is very committed here, and he is all in. You get a ton of deleted scenes with music videos, and wow, there is a lot here. And even though it isn't all of the things that you get in that box set, I still feel like, as far as special features goes, that box set is the ultimate version. But you do get a whole hell of a lot here, and for that, I am going to give this an 8 out of 10. There is a lot here, while they still took a little away from that previous box set that they had on Blu-ray. And as for my last looks at The Matrix Reloaded, I feel like that is not an apt title for this, just because of the fact that I don't feel like this is a reloaded version of The Matrix. This is just a unnecessary continuation of The Matrix that really muddles its mythology. And even though it took some time for me to get used to that fact, now looking back at it, it is still a fun movie to watch. This is the longest one for me to watch, though. I have a hard time sitting through this movie in one sitting. I always have. But it is still an enjoyable film. And even though I am, even now, kind of reluctant to actually admit that, I do, at times, enjoy this movie for what it is. And when you add up all of my scores, you come out to a 33 out of 40. That is a pretty good rating. And if you like this movie, you cannot just be pissed off about how this is going to look and sound. I feel like it just looks great and sounds even better. This is going to be reference quality sound for your surround sound. So, you know, A1 there. And as you can tell, I am going right into Matrix Revolutions. I got that right behind me right there. And so pay attention to the channel to see when that comes out. And today I just got a whole hell of a lot of releases for next week. And wow, I have a lot coming out for you guys. So if you are excited about everything that is coming out for the month of November, comment down below and let me know what you want me to check out. And as all of the December releases come out, comment down below about stuff that you're excited about there. I know that I personally am excited for Evil Dead 2. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome, and you know you're awesome, and I will see all of you next time.